We're at the Animal Humane Society today, and I'm with Carrie, and we're going to talk about how to know if your family is ready for a pet, because it actually is a really big commitment.
It is. It can be many, many years of a commitment. So we want to make sure everybody's really ready, and there's a few things to consider before picking out a pet.
Okay, so what's the number one thing families should think about before they even visit the Animal Humane Society?
Yep. I think, the number one thing is the responsibility. Are you ready for the responsibility that comes with a pet? So feeding the animal every day, caring for it, and really providing it with socialization, companionship. It's an everyday thing.
Okay.
So not just when you want a pet, but every single day. So are you ready for that responsibility?
Yes.
And then after that, what kind of pet do you want? What do you have time for? Do you have time to walk a dog every day? If you don't, maybe a cat is better.
Okay.
Do you have the funds for an animal? Animals can be very expensive. They require a lot of veterinary care and daily food and everything. So do you have the money to pay for an animal?
Okay.
Personality-wise, what type of lifestyle do you have? What kind of personality do you have? Are you a very active family? Maybe a Labrador is a great dog to have that can run around with you and play.
Okay.
Or are you more of a sedentary lifestyle? Maybe a couch potato cat would be better for you. So kind of think about which animal would be best for your lifestyle.
And now we're actually at the Humane Society today, but I know a lot of families end up getting a dog from a breeder, or so what's the benefit? And also, I think sometimes people are maybe afraid to come to a Humane Society because they figure, oh, those animals are bad, or they were turned over for some reason. So can you talk to me a little bit about that part of the decision-making process?
There's a lot of misconceptions about shelters, that they're all old, neglected, animals that are damaged, but they're not damaged goods. This sweetheart is Miley. She's a 6-month-old Chihuahua, wonderful behaved, just a great dog. Shelters are full of amazing animals, and there are millions and millions of animals in shelters that aren't adopted because people are buying pets.
Okay.
Buying from breeders and buying from pet stores. And I just would urge people to really consider shelter adoption, because these animals are already here, they're already with us, they already need homes.
Right.
So don't bring in more animals.
Right.
Let's get the ones that are here homes.
Right, and I mean, we're gonna go inside a little bit later, but I was briefly inside, and I mean, there are so many wonderful, wonderful dogs and cats in there, so I think it's just something really interesting to consider.
And a huge variety in every age, from puppies and kittens to older senior dogs and pets. Did you see something you like?
Miley's standing guard.
She is. And every different breed, if you want a purebred dog, there is a shelter or a rescue group that will have that dog. I mean, you don't need to go to a breeder to get a purebred dog.
Okay.
So just look around and give yourself some time. And another thing is to not choose a dog or cat based on how they look specifically, because a lot of people will fall for a pet just because they're cute. But there's plenty of things to consider other than just their looks.
Right, and I think one thing that I noticed when we were briefly inside is how well cared for the animals are, which everything was so clean, and I really saw so many people taking great care of the animals. So for me, that just gives me peace of mind. I know that if I do come here and adopt an animal, it's coming from a loving home that just happened to be a transitional home.
Yep, a lot of people surrender their pets to us and they're heartbroken. They just have situations out of their control that they can no longer care for their pets. So a lot of them have been in loving homes, and then a lot of them have also been in situations where they were strays, they got lost, or maybe they were given up by somebody who just left them on the street. But once they get here, they get really great care. We have behavior staff working with them. We have wonderful animal care staff that get them daily walks and daily socialization.
Okay.
So they're really well taken care of, and we make sure that they're great pets before they leave
Okay.
with their new family.
So how do you help a family when they come in and they say, hey, we're ready, we've discussed all these things, how do you help match them up with the pet that's best for them?
We ask them a series of questions if they're looking for some help. What's your lifestyle like? Who's going to take care of the pet? A lot of times the kids want the animal, but are the kids going to walk the dog at 6:30 in the morning?
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. So, we try to ask them questions about their lifestyle and what they're looking for and their living situation. Do they live in an apartment? Some people think small dogs, apartments, big dogs, houses, but it's not necessarily true. Little terriers need a lot of exercise. There's some big dogs who would just want to sit on the couch all day.
Right.
So we definitely, especially with dogs, we talk about the breed and what those breed characteristics are, because they're all very different.
Okay.
And then with cats, we have different personalities, and we're very familiar with what the different cats in our care would best be,
For a
suited
small child versus maybe even,
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk about families, I'm not necessarily talking about just families with young children. I mean, you could have a senior couple or a single senior who actually wants to make a family with a pet. Do you get a lot of those kinds of people?
Yes,
coming in?
we get every single walk of life in here looking for animals, and we just work really hard to fit them with the best animal possible, because we want success. We want these families to be happy. And if they're not happy, we will help them find a different animal, and we will rehome that animal with somebody else.
Okay, so if I do my work and I'm really conscientious and I choose the perfect animal, and then it doesn't work out, or it isn't a good fit, what's my step then? I come back here and
Yep, you bring the animal back, and we bring the animal back into our care, find somebody else that's a better fit, and then we help you find the pet that's right for you.
Okay.
It's really all about success, because animals, I mean, this dog could probably live 10 to 15 years.
Right.
We don't want it to be the wrong fit for the next 10
Right.
to 15 years, so it's
Right.
really important to get that right fit.
Yeah,
And that's why a shelter is wonderful, because we have really smart people they're just animal people. They know what's best for people.
That's actually really helpful, because the difference from buying from like a breeder is, and I know breeders know their business. I mean, I know that they do a really good job, but you actually have this huge assortment, and then you have a staff that's working with these dogs. So it's not just one person who's, and I actually happen to have two beagles that we did get from a breeder, and they're fantastic dogs. But you're right, like we were like, that's cute, and I had done some of my research on beagles and knew that was going to be a good fit for my family. But I think it's just it is, when I hear about this whole team approach and all these different people working with each animal, it really is a great program.
It's really fabulous, because these animals are all placed with the right person, and it's really important to them. Another thing I should mention is adopting from a shelter is hugely beneficial in terms of the financial aspect of it, because these dogs, they have an adoption fee, which is how we continue to do the work we do, but they're spayed and neutered already, they're microchipped, they're vaccinated, they come with a free collar, ID tag, free bag of pet food. You really leave the shelter with everything you need. You don't have to go take them to get their spay-neuter surgery. It's all done for them. So it's really a cost-saving thing, too.
That is actually
and for families that are looking to save some money, you get a great dog, and it's just a package deal. It's wonderful.
Well, I have seen this adorable dog, but I actually happen to know there's a lot more pets to see inside. So can we go inside and check it out?
great. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do
Thanks,
it.
Carrie.
Thank you.